Okay, we are starting on part 3 of the half pipe project, okay? Part 3 is when we're going to add in squash and stretch to our assignment. So last time we did the blocking phase, which I'll play that now. We block out our scene based off of our grease pencil, which, if I remember correctly, should be on my image plane. For those whose grease pencil actually works, it should be under grease pencil, but mine was broken, so I imported an image plane. So it's following my grease pencil. Now for those who added squash and stretch to your grease pencil, this will be useful so that you can use your grease pencil as a guide for squash and stretch as well. Otherwise, you'll just be winging it, which is also fine. It just might take a little more time, okay? So first off, let me save it. So file, save scene as. This project is going to be HP03 underscore your name. HP03, bless you, underscore your name. Okay? So let's get at it. For squash and stretch, I'm going to focus on one control at a time. So going back to our ball, let me hide some stuff real fast. Our ball has 3 controls. Let me draw it too. Grease pencil. My perfect circle. The ball has 3 controls. So the middle one we used for, you guys remember? Who remembers what we did for the middle control? What does the middle control of the ball do? Yes, so translation and rotation. So I just say T and R. Okay, translation and rotation. Okay, what about the top controls? Squash and stretch. Yes, so today we're going to focus on these top controls, squash and stretch, squash and stretch. Okay, they both have squash and stretch. Okay, and I might show you guys a brand new control that this ball has. It's a little more complicated. Let me draw it out. I'll use green. Nah, let's use blue. There's one more control which I might show you guys. It's a little more advanced, but it could be beneficial. It's a square control, and this is for rotation, but it's a different type of rotation, okay? So the translation and rotation control allows you to rotate the ball and rotate these handles, right? This rotation control only rotates the geometry of the ball. It only rotates the geometry of the ball, okay? So that's why it's a little more advanced from what we've been using. But we'll get there when we get there. So I will turn that off for now. And I'll start animating the ball. I'm going to have my image plane up. If you go in the outliner, all I did was to hide it. I clicked on image plane and clicked on the H button. H button allows you to hide objects in the outliner over here. Okay. So I'm going to turn on that so I can reference my squash and stretch. And as I do this, I only want to mess with one control at a time. One control at a time, so I don't make it too confusing, okay? So first off, I'm going to go through my animation, and I want to save all the points that are a perfect circle, or where I think a perfect circle will be, so that I do less work. So over here, it's stretching out. Let's see. It's not really a perfect circle, except right here on top. This is my personal preference. Yours might be stretching still, but I'm just doing like personal preference right here. Probably a little bit right here as well. Shift W. Shift W. Might do that here. Shift W, perfect circle. And I'll probably keep it a perfect circle here. There's going to be a lot of squash and stretch. So I'm just using my, the film gate would be useful. You can turn the film gate on. It's not in show, but it's under it right here. So I use the left, this one right here, film gate. Don't forget to, when you export your video, to turn film gate off for presentation purposes. Okay, so as I go through this, I got some stretch. I'm gonna stretch out my ball. Shift W. Yeah, I like how that looks so far. And I'm only messing with one control at a time. I'm not going to use the other squash and stretch if I don't have to. So it might stretch out a little more. Again, I'm just kind of experimenting. I'm actually going to go back to my main control here and make sure that I have that contact pose. So Shift W, I'm going to save that contact pose. So then I can do that squash. Shift W. Because it's going fast, so this is going to happen fast. I'm going to have it stretch out. I think that's the direction I want. It's a little off. I'll fix it. So, right over here. So I'm just going to adjust this. I'm just adjusting it so it's in contact with the wall. Now it's still contacting the wall. If you want to look closer, that's why I have this perspective view. With your handle selected, you can go to this screen, just hover your mouse over it and click on F. And then use Command left mouse click to rotate, and you can see your image a bit closer. Okay. For some of you, this also might be easier to grab the handles. If it is, awesome. If not, just keep doing your thing. But I like to zoom in so I can see a little more detail. Let's go to the next part. And of course, you have to go back here. They don't play at the same time. There's a setting that you can, but I'm not going to mess with that today. Let me check out how it looks so far. Yeah. So right here, I don't have that squash because I'm going to mess with this handle later. I'm still sticking with this handle for now. Okay. So it looks kind of strange right now, but I have not forgotten about squash and stretch. I will go back. I just want to continue using the first handle as much as I can. So right here, let's see. Let me play it again. Yeah, I like that so far. Let me check it out. for animation purposes, it's kind of like old-fashioned animation with paper, if you've seen it, where animators would flip the paper back and forth, kind of like a flip book too. I like going to the timeline, holding down my left mouse button to scrub through the animation so I can see how it looks and see if the angles look right. So if I don't like this angle, if I think it's too much of a straight line than an arc, you can definitely fix that and see if it works. So I'll just go back to my middle control, and I want to arc it a little. I'll just move this up slightly. So then it's really subtle. There's a slight arc. I'm just going to mess around with the controls until it looks right. Because I think I could do my arcs better. And also sometimes I like to use grease pencil as a guide. So if my ball is in contact right here, I like making a little dot, maybe a little line, so I can line up my ball again if need be. So right here, when I have that contact pose, I want to just line up the ball, Shift W, so it looks a little more accurate. Turn back on my image plane and hide this grease pencil. Okay, let me just go through it, just following my grease pencil guide. I'll try to go a little bit faster for the sake of the demo. Right now I'm just stretching it out. Even though it's hovering, I'll make a micro adjustment to my middle control later. I'm just sticking with my squash control for now. So I want it closer to a circle as it gets to the top. I'm just doing some micro adjustments along the way. See how it looks so far. Turn off my image plane, see how it looks. Doesn't look bad, but let's start using the other control, the other squash and stretch control, to see what we can do. So I want to clean this up later in the video, I don't really like how it's landing, but that's me personally. If yours is doing that and you like it, that's fine, as long as you think it looks good. Yeah, I think it could be faster. Let's see. Mess with this control. Shift W. Shift W. Right there's my squash. Yeah, I want to squash that down. Squash. You still might want your guide there, but for me, I think I'm good for now. But again, if you want your guide, there is no issues with having a guide there. If you don't like adjusting it manually like this to make it a perfect circle, you can go back over here in the channels box. Whoops, let me get the channels box back open. Channels box, just click on the control, click on all the translates, have that 0, and then Shift W to save. That's only if you don't want to manually put it back. Let's see. Again, I'm going to use my grease pencil here as a quick guide. Let's see. Contact is there. It's a little bit off. So contact, and I want that contact still with the dotted area. I'll make this 0. 0. There's a lot of work in this polishing phase that I need to take care of. I'm going to click on play real fast to see how it goes. Again, it's not bad. It can be better. I'm going to go back to my middle control. That is translation and rotation. And just adjust it slightly so that I get more of a arc feel. And I'll do some micro adjustments to my squash and stretch controls. And I just like scrubbing so that I can see if the arcs are good. So you can kind of see when I do this that the tail of the ball kind of starts to dip down in this slanting shape. Kind of starts to do this. Let me show my grease pencil. Okay. Starts to do this slant shape. Let me erase this one too so you can see it better. And I don't want that. I want a nice arc. So, a nice arc. Arcs in animation help make it more fluid or more realistic. See, it's off the arc there too. I'm gonna just adjust this slightly. Adjust the main control as well. Adjust that. Yeah, it's way off, so I'm just gonna adjust the frame as much as I can. So I can get that arc down. Remember, no food in the classroom. I hear someone opening something. So no food in the classroom, y'all. So I'm just going to be continuing to adjust this arc so it looks a little more fluid. Yeah, that looks better. I'll try to hurry up again for demo purposes. So right here, I want to fix that. I really don't like this part. I want to go here and move my frames around. So what I did was I select all of the handles. I go down to my timeline. I think I showed this in the last video, or the first one. When you move frames around, it's shift, left mouse click, and then it'll highlight red. Middle mouse click and drag. So I want to just drag that one over, and I'm going to drag this one over because I want some space between the contact positions. So it feels better. I just want it to feel better. Give this one a chance to breathe. So from here, I already want my ball to be in contact. I'll make this a perfect circle. Adjust it slightly. Shift W. Oh, I'll show you one more tool that's pretty important. So far we've been doing a lot of manual animation, which is fine, like where we Shift W or Shift E. To make this process a little bit faster, go down in this corner, and this is auto keyframe toggle. Okay, so as I do these micro adjustments, it'll automatically save, and I don't have to deal with doing Shift W, Shift E. Okay, so this will help just make the process a little bit faster. Again, I've been doing it manually so that you can get in the habit of doing Shift W or Shift E to create a frame, and so that you're more aware of what you're doing on your timeline. But for this case, let's toggle this on in the corner and just go through the process a little bit faster because we want to be efficient. So that should automatically save. Automatically save. Again, I want to check this arc. Heck, I'll redraw it too. So go back to my grease pencil, just whoops, not a straight line. just keep drawing it until I get it. What I'm doing to remove it is just Command Z to undo. I'm just trying to get a nice arc that I can reference. Good enough. Yeah, this kind of fits it. Good enough. Go back to my control and just do some micro adjustments. So it's going to jump. Go back to my main control. Just do some micro adjustments there. Again, I have auto frame turned on. so I don't have to click on Shift W or Shift E. Yeah, that looks better. I'm way more happy with that. So let me just go through this again. So see the tail. That's okay. So from here, let's see how this goes. Yeah, again, the tail of this is going in this weird motion. Let me get the grease pencil on. So it's going at a diagonal again, and I don't want that. You can kind of tell when I scrub through. I still want that nice arc. Oh. Let me fix that arc. So I got my contact. This is where onion skinning is really good. So if I have like draw my contact pose here, my contact position here where it touches the wall, I go to the middle and try to line up my arcs. I want to turn on both onion skins so I can see the previous frame and the future frame. I'm using a mouse, so trying my best. Yeah, that arc is much better. I will use that as my guide. So I'm gonna make this go up. Just do some micro adjustments. An arc makes things look a little more lively too. And I'm just going to adjust the tail. Do some micro adjustments so that it looks right. Yeah, that looks better. Again, I like doing this scrubbing motion to make sure that the arcs look nice. I want to check this one, make sure it looks good. Adjust this slightly. Contact. Some weird movement here. Yeah, that looks better. I'm actually going to shift this down so it rotates and then shoots up. My program is not going to be happy with me. Oh, we've done so much already. So before Maya crashes, if it does, Command S. So save your scene. You do not want to lose your progress. Or you can go to File, Save Scene. Okay, we already saved it as HP03 before. Make sure it's saved. You do not want to lose all of your awesome progress. So I'm just doing micro adjustments. And yeah, that is what I'm doing right now. Okay. And right here, I'm going to make sure that my arcs are still good. So I'm going to do another grease pencil. In between this, I want my arcs. Just trying to get a good line. Again, I'm doing Command Z just to undo a bad grease pencil. Okay, that's okay. That arc is slightly better, just as a guide. I'll go back to my ball. Wait, let's see which control. I'm back to the main one, just to move it over slightly. Right here. I clicked on W to move it. Again, all these controls are on the side, so the move tool. Just doing some slight adjustments. Line's a little off, so just doing some micro adjustments. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. That's better. I want to fix this part. Again, I'm doing that scrubbing motion so I can see if my arc is good. Goes from the here. Just making sure my arcs look good, doing that scrubbing motion. My arcs look good here. Go move on. Now I want to make sure that it makes contact with the wall, so it looks a little more believable. Again, I'm just doing those micro adjustments, and I have the auto frame on so that I can do this a bit quicker. Again, auto frame is down here. It should be highlighted in red. That will make the process a little bit faster. Just doing some micro adjustments to make sure that it is touching the wall. Touching the wall. Touching the wall. Some of you are probably wondering why we're not using the graph editor. For some reason, for this file, it's broken and it's not loading the graph editor. So just do these micro adjustments. Use this scrubbing technique that I'm using, and it will help you with getting the animation the way you want it. When the graph editor works, of course, it's an amazing tool to use. So I'm just making, again, micro adjustments. I'll make micro adjustments to the tail as well. Just try not to let it clip through the floor. Some of this is just doing through experience. I'll move this control. There we go. Now it's getting off the arc, which I don't like, so I will move it to the side. So from here, I'll use my grease pencil again as a guide. So I want it to go up and over. Maybe like this S shape. Adjust this tail. Yeah, that looks nice. So I do the scrubbing, looks nice. Again, I will adjust this. Fixing the arc. Adding in that rotation, doing that scrubbing to make sure it looks good. Just doing some micro adjustments. Almost done, just doing some micro adjustments. Let me turn off my grease pencil. Let me just see how it looks so far. Option 1 turns off the handles, or you can go to Show, NURBS Curves. Okay, looks kind of weird over here, but for the sake of demos, you just continue with this process until you like your animation. You just do some micro adjustments here and there. I'll show you how to export this project. So don't forget to save. So Command S, save. Go to File, Save Scene is another way. How I want you to turn this in. I want you to go to Show, make sure that your grease pencil is turned off, make sure that NURBS Curves is turned off. Finally, right here, you want to turn off the film gate so that it's more, it's in the right dimensions. You go down to your timeline, right click, go to Play Blast, go to this little square, and then make sure you have these settings. So ornaments turned off, render off screen, turned off. Just check out these settings, make sure they're the same, and apply or Play Blast. Okay, let's play it. Let's make sure it looks right. Looks good. Of course, for more professional, I would want to change the ending and do some micro adjustments. For a demo, this is all right. I want to change the destination to my desktop. I want to make it HP03 underscore my name. Click on enter, and that is it. Do y'all have any questions so far? I know that was a long demo. Any questions? No questions? I will upload the video for y'all. Okay. Let me play it one more time, make sure I got everything. Yep. Cool.